Hey, welcome to Chaotic Evil Games. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're enjoying the channel. My name's Luke. Today I've got a really special treat. I think it's a super rare art book. Judging by its price on Amazon, it's stupid rare. I'm lucky to have picked it up, and I wanted to share it with you. It's an art book called Ratspike, and the artists are none other than the legends of John Blanche and Ian Miller. So we're gonna crack it open, flip through it, go over some of the artwork, which is just absolutely stunning. Take a jog down memory lane, and yeah, let's check it out. Okay, well, here it is. This is, in my opinion, a pretty legendary book. It is published by Games Workshop. It was published in 1989, I believe. I'll double check the copyright once I flip it open. The title is Ratspike, and it is an art book by John Blanche and Ian Miller. It's a hardcover. I think I've seen it in softcover and hardcover with a dust jacket. This one's in pretty good shape. It does have some bumped corners, but the images inside are just absolutely mind-blowing. I'm not an art expert. I have a lot of art books and art hanging on my walls from Giger and Frazetta to Kandinsky, Dali, and Monet. I don't have anything by John Blanche. You just don't see his prints anywhere. And here's the funny thing is that John Blanche is kind of the name that everyone goes to or has a lot of notoriety, but Ian Miller's work in this book is equally as impressive. It's equally as disturbing, if not more so. So we'll get into that. I'm going to read some passages as we flip through it. Bear with me, as I do have a bit of a respiratory infection, so not a whole lot to read in it, but a lot of images. So when I get the chance to read, I'm going to take it. Consider ye this: the warrior doth strive, sword in hand, to slay and lay waste his enemies. Yet I say unto thee, more fearsome still are the diligents who wield brush and pigment in the creation of multifarious images. For whereas the warrior sows only fear and reaps naught but death, the artist can provoke both wonder and horror. In the incitement of such emotions is power indeed, for the hearts and minds of those who behold the artist's creation may thus be forever changed. I thought that was cool. And here it is. The end papers have art on them. Not sure what all it's saying. I hear cow pies, Lux Mundi, light of the world, cow pies. Maybe that'll make sense here later after bit. Rats Mundi kill. I'm not sure what that is. I guess that's language of a rat. So this is 1989 by Games Workshop. And I apologize, there's lots of images, and I'm going to hold the book up to the camera and let it focus best I can. I liked the foreword here. The first couple paragraphs definitely gives an alternative attitude towards the life of an artist, and what it means to grow up and remain an artist. Most young people are somehow bribed to grow up. With the regular reinforcement of pocket money, sweets, etc., their parents anxiously try to foster in their kids the conformity that promises survival. You can't blame the parents. They're only obeying orders from their genes. They are only preparing their young ones for the chill realities of a world without pity. But for people like Ian and John, this process of maturation was, I suspect, only partially successful. When I asked them, for example, why they had chosen the title Ratspike for this collection of their work, they simply replied, well, we like the sound of the word. Such wisdom does not abide in the adult mind. The fact is, for people like Ian and John, the bribery didn't work. They still have, metaphorically at least, conkers and cap guns in their trouser pockets. As thin as a cigarette card, as tenuous as a film of bubblegum, is the veil that clothes these two schoolboys in an often slipping facade of maturity. Like many creative people, They just don't see things as adults do. In fact, they get paid not to. I think that's a really powerful, excuse me, a really powerful opening to a book about artists and what it means to not grow up and stay true to yourself. And here is John and Ian. Again, this was 1989. It's an amazing presentation of a book. Oh yeah, there's a quote from, there's Lewis Carroll for John Blanche, and then Ian Miller has a quote from Robert Louis Stevenson. Weapons blazing, the Titanic war machines stride across the war-strewn battlefield, blood red against a burning sulphurous sky. Their scarred metal carapaces gleam from the light of dying metropolis. Here we've got some more text, really striking imagery throughout the book. This one's called Titans. You can see the Space Marines down here being overrun by the Titanic war machines. Excuse me. There's quite a bit of reading in here. Not a ton. Definitely lots of artwork. We have some models, some miniatures from the early days of Games Workshop. Here we've got Chaos Beastman. Lift him up here so you can take a look. Eldar Warrior, Space Adventurer, Chaos Mutant, Chaos Champion, Astropath. These are models you just don't see anymore. I don't think there's Chaos Mutants. Maybe those are cultists or whatever. I really like the Astropath. That's a really cool model. The Chaos Champion. You see all kinds of unique things here in this book. Mutant Elder, Ogres, more mutants. Over here we've got you can see an Amazon, a pair of Amazons, and then the corresponding artwork right next to it. So that's fun to see it interpreted in a sculpture, a painted sculpture. The painting, that is. There's a Chaos Champion that looks pretty familiar. That reminds me a lot of the Hero Quest board game. Here's the Chainsaw Warrior. That's a solitaire box game I've got from Games Workshop that I'll have to get out and play and shoot a video. The Chainsaw Warrior. I think they made a video game out of it too. And here you see a Chaos Minotaur with a Mona Lisa banner. John Blanche uses the Mona Lisa theme occasionally in his work. I don't know the meaning or significance behind it. Maybe he was a fan of Da Vinci. Maybe he was not. This one's called Warhammer 1. It's a cool presentation. Ignorant Armies is the title of this one. Some of the landscapes in here are really unique. This one's called Gunderwald on the left, and then Gothermond on the right. Just really striking stuff. I'm really glad they did this. I don't know if they still put out art books like this. I wish they would. What I like about this one's called Ice Unicorn. What I like about this is Games Workshop published it, but not everything in it is just completely laden with the Warhammer IP, like the Ice Unicorn. I don't know where that is involved, where that creature is in the game, whether it's Age of Sigmar or Fantasy Battles or 40k. It's just a piece of art by one of their artists. And there's tons of it in this book. Here's a mermaid. This one's untitled. More untitled works. These are all untitled right here. Sentinel 1. Just some amazing pieces. I'm lucky to have this book and be able to share it. Not sure what the title of this one is, but it's excuse me, really impressive. Running Man, War Boss. Let's take a look at the War Boss. Well, no, I had it right. Sorry, I had it right. Thought I did. Really striking images. Lots of good black and white stuff too. Our brethren shall pour forth from the forest to slay and burn. Chaos will cover the land, and we, the chosen servants, shall be exalted in his eyes. Here's the Mona Lisa again. This one's called Donner and Blitzen. These could be some cool tokens for a tabletop game if they weren't already. One of the older box games. Looks like Mona Lisa's got a... I'm not sure what she got there. Maybe a Minotaur's head. Nuln. Painting of Nuln. City of Nuln. Good King Odo. Winter Gallery. Troubadours. Amazonia Gothique. Reminds me so much of the original Sisters of Battle Codex cover. I thought that piece was in here, and I haven't seen it unless I've skipped over it somehow and didn't see it, but that's probably the most famous John Blanche piece that still gets talked about today. Pagan Angel, Reeklanders, Riders on the Storm, Chaos Marauders, the Eternal Champion down here. That's pretty cool. Doesn't look like Elric. Maybe he's not the Eternal Champion of Chaos. There it is. Yep. Yeah, this is just a fantastic book. If you ever get a chance to flip through it in person, it's definitely worth your time. You just don't see a lot of art like this anymore. Hand-painted stuff. That's why I'm such a fan of the Tony Ackland and John Blanche and Keith Parkinson, Clyde Caldwell. I mean, these guys used to paint with, with oil and canvas and brush, and it's just absolutely mind-blowing what they could do. That people try to emulate with computers, and it's just not possible. This guy, his name's Macbeth. He looks like a dwarven king, Macbeth. It's a skeleton horde. Night Panther. It's a cool painting. And here, Mona and the Moon Man. Not sure what this is about. Maybe someone who knows more about John Blanche and his mind than I do will leave me a comment and explain some of this, but she's decked out. She's ready for action. And the Moon Man, I don't know what that's a reference to. Maybe I should. I'm thinking the movie Metropolis, but I think that's a different moon. Ogre's Tower, Lux Mundi, Light of the World, I believe. Yep. Looks like Christ there on the sail of the ship. Maybe that's the name of the ship. Pretty provoking stuff. Definitely edgy. Look at that splash piece. Just amazing. I mean, the picture's worth 1,000 words. That's it. Look at this path going up to that tower. Who lives in that tower? What do they do all day? Coke Runner. This is a cool passage. I'm going to read that. Here's Coke Runner, and then Sentinel 2. Let's take a look at this painting, and then I'll read the passage below it. I know it's not the best view. Alright, Coke Runner. Kelly upped the magnification of her expensive new eyes. The image of the approaching rider enlarged. She paid attention to the detail. Detail was important here in Deadland. It marked the boundary between survival and extinction. Predator and prey. Victor and victim. Kelly didn't intend to be a victim anymore. Tiny details made a difference. Was the guy on the bike a Coke Runner or a horseman of Apocalyptica? A Crimzoner or a shock trooper? Was his standard real or fake? Some spooks out here impersonated motorcycles the way mockflies took on the warning colors of predatory insects. Kelly sought clues while the meatware in her skull calculated his approach vector, his armament, his chance of survival. She cursed herself for not buying the pattern recognition Cortex that would have matched his appearance to the info in her FedLaw-approved Identikit database. At the time, the sawn-off had seemed like a better investment. She checked its action and grinned as the green ready lights winked on. Jackpot, she thought, spotting the red Coke logo on his right shoulder. He was the target, all right. Now came the hard part, bringing him in. Well, hard or not, she decided it was time. The man in the shark skin suit had paid her to do a job. That was what she intended to do. Kelly sought clues while the meatware in her skull calculated his approach vector. I mean, how cool is that? I think they're talking about an eyeball. But why call it an eyeball when you could call it, meatware? It's an eyeball with an upgrade. This one's called Lay Down All Hope. It's super dark. I mean, this just screams early Warhammer. Across the Sticks, Edge of the Abyss, Dog Soldiers. Definitely grimdark future. Definitely has a Necromunda feel. Confrontation 40k. This one's called Jonah. There's Adeptus Mechanicus painting. It's probably one of the earlier renditions of the Adeptus Mechanicus right there. Really cool stuff. And here are some Terminators, Terminator Space Marines. These are Blood Angels. Take a look at those guys. You've got a standard bearer back here. You've got their storm bolters and their power fists. That looks like, doesn't look like a chain fist. I don't see any chain on it, but there's some sort of blade. It's not a lightning claw either. It's just whatever they felt like painting. Really cool stuff. You see some monster in the background here. It's about to get slaughtered by the Terminators. The Gene Stealer cult. We Are Legion, the Kindred. Really cool. And then we get into Ian Miller. He says, my images are the stuff of dreams and apparitions, the tremors that touch the skirt of the day, unspoken thoughts, stored memories drawn up to be aired and then twisted by fancy. I actually think that Ian Miller's stuff is a lot darker and more disturbing than John Blanche's. Case in point, the first painting we look at is called the Vomit Hounds. They're vomiting, looks like blood, and then in the blood are people, and then the people are, they're walking away with their heads hung low and just crazy shit. Spring's Bane. I mean, it looks like mixed media. That's the only one that makes me think mixed media, like that was a Xerox and some photo manipulation happening there. But this one's called Bill Spring. Just just stuff of dreams. This reminds me of the Sandman or Sandman Mystery Theater from DC Vertigo. Just Dave McKean, that, like this image here reminds me of Dave McKean's work from, not so much the interior art, but the covers by Dave McKean from Sandman and Vertigo. Just really fantastic stuff of the imagination, surreal work. Death in the Rocking Horse Factory. I mean, how creepy is this? I mean, that's not 40k, that's not fantasy battles, but that's some creepy imagery. This isn't for kids. I don't like kids' games. There's another one. This one's called Utter Woman, Killer of Cows. See, John Blanche had Mona Lisa in his artwork. Recurring themes of Mona Lisa. Well, Ian Miller has recurring themes of cows. This woman's wearing some sort of udder on her head. This guy had some bad dreams, you know. I wish him well. I'm going to look him up and see how he's doing. I'm going to look both of them up. This one's called Black Angel Grinder. And it's cool that his part of the book, some of the motifs or the themes in the print makes its way through the book. The layout and presentation it's not dull whatsoever. So here's one called Maypole. That's just busy and chaotic and looks like it was drawn in some kind of fury. This one over here, again, it's called Angel Butcher. And it's an angel with some knives on its belt killing a cow, or a bull rather. No, it's got an udder, but it looks like it's got horns. So just beheading this cow and then flying away with the head. I mean, what are you going to do with the cow's head? Why do you have to kill cows? Cool sketches down here. Terror of the Leech Master, Santa Chaos, Demon Head. Super cool. Super dark. And it gets worse. It gets even more disturbing. It just keeps going. It gets more and more fantastic. None of this is really, there's no Space Marines or Terminators or skeleton hordes. That stuff's scary, but this is something else. Horn Towers #1, Horn Towers #2, Wag Citadel, Nort Passage, Emperor Starship. This one's pretty 40K. It's got a lot going on in it, lots of detail. This one's fun, Champion of Corn. Some really busy artwork. Excuse me. These are, I say the last one's busy and then I flip the page. Just zoom in on any area. Yep. Look at all that. The more you look at it, the more things just come alive and grab your eye. You can't really look at it from afar. You have to zoom in and just focus your eyes in like quadrants of the painting because it's just that crammed full of grim dark action. Love it. Absolutely amazing. I've got to look this guy up. I should get a print like this. Hang it on my wall. Just phenomenal. I've never been able to draw too well. I'm colorblind. I confuse my reds, greens, greens, and yellows somehow. I'm sorry, greens and yellows, reds and oranges, blues and purples. If you go to the eye doctor and he gives you the color plate test, Ishihara's color plate test, I fail it. I guess about 10% of men are colorblind. It's super rare in women, so if you're a woman and you go to the eye doctor, you probably won't get the Ishihara's color blindness test. But if you're a man, you'll know what I'm talking about. Look at this guy. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the black and white imagery speaks to me often a lot more than the color. Things have to be really colorfully contrasted to grab my attention. I like Kandinsky and Rothko quite a bit, Jackson Pollock, but the black and white definitely speaks volumes. And this stuff is just, it's twisted, you know. This is right on par with H.R. Giger. Obviously the presentation is different, but the level of disturbing imagery is just, I mean, it's right there. It's as surreal as it can be. Look at that guy. Yeah. What's this one say? The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the robin do then? Poor thing. He'll sit in a barn and keep himself warm, and hide his head under his wing. Poor thing. This was called winter. I think this guy had seasonal affective disorder. It's a real thing. I hate the winter. I feel like the guy in this painting every time the winter comes. Death on the Reek. Super busy artwork. Lots of detail. I gotta look this guy up and learn more about him. I think that for whatever reason, you know, John Blanche got a lot of attention, and I mean, I know the reason. He's super talented, but I don't know. Some people prefer one style, others prefer another. So yeah, that one's called Hollywood Gothic White Rider. It's just abstract. Here's another Hollywood Gothic. It's really cool stuff, really cool book. I'm lucky I found it. Wanted to share it with everybody because this is an aspect of Games Workshop history that isn't really on display anymore. But it's important and it's amazing. It's important that artwork gets seen and presented, no matter how disturbing, no matter how you know, how much it upsets society or upsets your parents or upsets your friends, and they all think, God, what is wrong with you? Why are you into that? Why do you want to hang that on your wall? Why do you want to listen to that kind of music? Well, why not? Because it's interesting. Maybe that's a self-portrait right there. Ian Miller. It's called Sleep. I see in here in the gutter. Flypaper and then Sleep. Dog Drummer. Chaos Knight. Definitely a badass Chaos Knight. I mean, that horse with his armament. It looks just like the Chaos Knights in my army. All red and black. Gold. Super cool. Spring Cough, The Cry. It's just disturbing stuff. You know, you have to look at art like this and think, you know, what kind of a person creates this type of work? Are they okay? Well, imagine if they didn't create this type of work. If they didn't produce a painting like this, it's titled Abuse. They didn't produce this. I mean, they're dealing with something. They're working it out. They're not out, you know, killing people or robbing banks or hurting other people. They're dealing with it in a constructive way. I skipped over some of the Space Marines. I said there's no Space Marines, but there are. What are these? Mark 6 Space Marines? Mark 6 armor with the beakies. Here you've got some, not jump packs, but power packs on their armor. The studded pauldrons. Super cool. Heads on stakes with a Space Marine standing nearby. It's called Debacle. Oh, here we go. I didn't see these earlier. There's some more Space Marines. Not sure what the title is. This is just called the Imperium. It's a collection. Red Dog Falling. Sort of headless dog dropping bombs. War Games. Iron Lady. And that's it. Yamas. I mean, I'm kind of speechless at the end of it. I feel like I've witnessed something that either I wasn't supposed to, or I've I've witnessed something that is very, very unique that you just don't see anywhere else. So thanks to Games Workshop for printing this. This would be an amazing reprint from Black Library or whatever. It shouldn't be filed away somewhere. It should be on display. So hence the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Leave me some comments, give me a like, ring the notification bell, all that fun crap. And check back later. I'm going to have more Oldhammer and some more art books. I've got some D&D art books and stuff that I want to share. So yeah, so if you got any questions about this book, let me know and I'll be happy to address them. Take care. See you soon.